So I have here, we have, along with my, let's see, we have Valerie is our Orlando organizer. And so we have, see, Steve was one of our past participants last year. He was one of the winners. And then I think you just came by and joined us. Yes. So that's a nice thing. We're in the Melrose Center, which is a part of the downtown library. So we've had a couple people who've just been in the library and wandered over to our site. And so we also have Lana, and then Chris, if you want to join us. Yeah, so he's another Kennedy Space Center. So, yeah. So and then we have Ryan Coburg here, is from Space Florida.
Hi.
Who is one of the sponsors, I believe, of you guys' event. So yeah, so we wanted to just check in and see what you guys are working on, and then also if you guys have any questions for us that we can answer.
All right. Any teams want to step up and tell us what you're doing so far? Go ahead, William.
I'm from Team Think and Go, and we're doing the Book It to the Moon challenge. We're making an app where it's like shows a bunch of stuff about the moon. It's got stories about the first men to walk the moon, and it's got the stories of what's happened like throughout history, the visions of the moon.
Cool.
Very cool. And that's a family team, right? I saw a few of your guys' tweets already this morning.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, good luck. I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys do.
All right. Thank you.
We've got a Team Rocket. We're doing the 3D print rocket challenge, and we're actually printing a model right now with the limitations of the hardware we have to launch by tomorrow, as well as studying the few variables that are current technology, emerging technology, structural limitations, as well as any other occurrences that we encounter.
So, oh, cool. So you guys are looking to, sorry, I'm going to get a phone call. I want to, this is Sarasota. Let me grab this real quick. But if you guys have any questions, like on Book to the Moon or anything.
So what challenges are you guys up to?
Well, the people who's running that are actually doing the challenges are over in the corner, so we'll have them come over in a second. But maybe someone knows which one, which ones they're doing. Yeah.
Some of the teams that are working on.
There's the mic.
All right, so make sure you guys can hear me. So a few teams are working on different things. One team is working on an earthquake detection app, so an early warning system for earthquakes that can be deployed in places where those are common to hopefully save lives. We have another team that's working on machine learning challenge, and I think another team's
on the environmental.
Yeah, there's a team that's working on an environmental app where you basically scan products and can see what the impact is, what the company does, whether they're sustainable, the hazards, so it's tied to the environment. And I think there was, I can't quite remember. Okay, yeah. So I can't remember what the other one is.
So we have a printed rocket one too.
Oh, that's right. The printed rocket one. Yep. So they're also working on that. Okay.
Cool. So, and did you guys say that your printed rocket, you're actually building like a scale one that you're going to try and launch?
Absolutely.
Oh wow, that's really cool.
Right.
Well, that makes me excited since I'll be coming over there tomorrow to see what you guys are up to. And so Lana, did you introduce yourself?
I'm Lana Meyer. I've been with NASA since '86. My background is I have a physics degree in physics, another degree in master's in atmospheric physics, and a master's in industrial engineering. I've done systems development. I've studied triggered lightning. I've studied lightning. I've chased tornadoes at the National Severe Storms Lab. I've written thousands of lines of software. I've worked in safety and mission assurance, and I'm back leading weather, ending my career. I retire at the end of the year. You guys have questions, I'd be more than willing to help. I love working for NASA. It's a blast. I've been on the console for go, no-go decisions for safety mission assurance when the shuttle was flying, so I have a little bit of experience.
And then
Chris?
Yeah, we want to get to you.
Yeah, I don't have 30 years of experience.
Yes, but you bring a different aspect than us.
Yeah, so I've been here about 4 months, worked for the test and operations support contract, doing launch vehicle processing for Orion. So getting everything ready to go to launch in 2018. send something up for you all.
So yeah, so he's probably our most familiar with actually working with the hardware in our different facilities. And so I work for NASA's Launch Services Program. I'm a trajectory analyst, so I work with any of our NASA missions that are robotic ones going to study the Earth or other planets. We have to make sure that they get launched into space safely. And so as a trajectory analyst, my job is to make sure that they're going to the right place at the right time. So do you guys have any questions for us?
Yes, I should. My background is very mixed. So I work for Space Florida. My name is Ryan Kobrick, project manager for research and development there. But my PhD research is in lunar dust abrasion and worked on a lot of different spacesuit systems, mobility at the Manned Vehicle Lab at MIT. I did my PhD in Colorado and did a master's in Penn State. I went to the International Space University. So I'm originally from Canada, so I'm from all over as well. But primarily human spaceflight, and I'm the author of the Book It to the Moon Challenge. And then in my spare time, I'm also the chairman and president of Yuri's Night's worldwide space celebration. So Book It to the Moon was kind of that middle ground of being interested in engaging the public with something inspiring, but then also, the real facts behind exploration and everything else for human spaceflight. So that's kind of where my brain formed on that one.
So, and if anyone else, we don't have any viewers, so we don't have to worry about that yet.
One late addition.
Oh, we have Robert came back.
Hey.
Another.
Hello, my name is Robert Hubbard. I work at Kennedy Space Center. My job is enabling the commercial spaceport at the Kennedy Space Center. My background, project management, IT, web development, and business development.
All right. So yeah, so it's exciting to hear about what you guys are working on.
You got the PhD to work with?
We're working on the Space Route 66 challenge.
Oh, okay, great.
Imagining a future spaceport.
Cool.
All right.
So, which is what Robert does as part of his full-time job. So cool.
Hey, I got an interesting factoid to put out. Does anybody know you just mentioned Yuri's Night. Anybody here know what Yuri's Night is? I see one hand. But what is Yuri's Night?
Oh, that's not fair. I'm old. Of course I know.
Well, let's inform everybody.
Yeah, I haven't been in one of your events here in Florida, but Yuri's Night is a collective of individuals that go out and they are very much celebrate space and movement of space, and it's in honor of. Actually, last week was the 50th anniversary.
Yeah, April 12th.
Yeah, of Yuri's the first man in space.
Actually, 1961, the first person to ever go into space, Yuri Gagarin. He's a Russian cosmonaut, and he went up into space. And so every year during that day, that's a big celebration. So basically, it's that day or close to it. And they do this all over the world. The United States has a lot of cities that have Yuri's Night. And that means, go out and celebrate the first human ever made it out into space. Really cool.
Yeah, and 20 years after Yuri's flight was the first space shuttle flight, so it's a very international anniversary date. Actually, the International Space University was also founded on April 12th. And so the first Yuri's Night was 2001, so we're just wrapping up the 16th year of it. And if you've got kids at home that are interested in Miles from Tomorrowland, there's actually some activities that you can download during the month of April that we've got available with a partnership with Disney Junior. So it's a lot of fun. Parties are different all around the world. There's star parties at bars. LA had a party underneath the space shuttle. And the idea is just to bring people together to celebrate space and, to really bring in the culture aspect of it. So it's not just, engineers or the people who are typically working on the space program, but artists and musicians and everyone else that has an interest in bringing together to create things. And the International Space Apps was actually designed to be launched around the same time, and the original dates were actually around Yuri's Night. And the idea was to kind of have a hands-on activity for celebration, bring people together and do really cool things. And so you guys are going to hear about cool things right now from one of our teams here.
We got one from over here.
The closest I got to space was in a Phantom F4 Phantom with Donald Douglas, went above 60,000. But what I want to share with you is I'm visiting the Aeronautical Center in Hampton, Virginia, at the end of this month, no, May, and we'll be working on or introducing your colleagues to the program called NIPS, National Interstate Flyway System. Okay, National Interstate Flyway System, which is another way of saying beyond next gen. You know, next gen. It's beyond next gen. And of course, next gen will also, beyond next gen will include commercial space flight. So there's a connection. Right, very good.
Up went up to 60,000 feet, is that right?
Well, it was 60,000, but at that time, you got the sensation of leaves, you know, I wasn't in a spacesuit, but I got the sensation of leaving Earth because they were going straight up and the whole world was down there. You know, it was really cool. And the altimeter was spinning so fast, but the airspeed did go to 0. And then the airplane sort of fell out of the sky. But I needed a booster or something. Go higher. Thanks.
Cool. This is one of our teams, and they want to explain a little bit about what they're working on and how it's been going so far.
So we're basically game designers, and we thought we'd give a hand at real life issues like helping people right now. Seeing the recent earthquakes that occurred all around the world, especially in Japan and Ecuador recently, we thought the Amber Alert system was really effective in finding the kidnapped kids. Why could not there be an app which just pushes these kinds of notification to just give a heads up to the people and saying, hey, this just happened. If you're in a building, it's really risky right now, so why don't you just get out? Or it can really help save people's life if they are aware of such earthquakes or be it floods in the seaside areas. So that's what we are trying to work up right now.
Cool. Thank you guys for explaining your project.
Yeah.
They're gonna get back to working on it right now. So.
Very nice. So. But did you guys have any questions? I know you guys called it out a printed rocket question earlier. Do you have any more that are coming up or anything that you want any more information on, or are you getting through it pretty well?
Your 5-volt cans.
Yeah, we started testing the strength of the 3D printed rocket as to how minimal we can get the material, and we're well under what the machine rated for the nozzle. It's like a 0.35 millimeter thickness, and we're still able to put an entire stool and some Red Bulls, like seven cans of Red Bull on top of it.
So, okay, so you're able to get the nozzle and it's able to print to the right thickness that you need it, is that right?
No, it's not, but we're limited by what we currently have available, but we're pushing the limit to a point where it's actually way stronger than we initially anticipated, a lot thinner so we don't have to compensate for the weight difference versus the traditional model rockets that you can buy at a hobby shop currently.
Cool.
So just trying to match that to say like the model rocket, which when it comes in a kit still has mechanical connections and stuff. So 3D printing allows for us to eliminate that and kind of trim out the fat as much as possible, which at a larger scale is significantly more expensive.
Yes, lots of things change when you scale them. We have the challenge where we have the issue of when we try and scale them down, we have issues too.
Did Sarasota join us?
I couldn't quite hear. What was that?
Sarasota join us.
Yeah, they're having the professor. Unfortunately, he left the event, and so his students. He was emailing them, so I'm not sure if they'll be able to join us. I didn't realize that he would be leaving the event, so we didn't. So we'll see if they join us, but I'm not sure if that will happen or not. So, but. And yeah, it looks like we have a couple people joined us for. So do you have any more technical questions or anything you want to hear more about what we do?
Is that what you want to do tonight, your project?
Orlando.
You guys have enough caffeine over there? You're all caffeinated up?
Any other questions?
As for means of deliverables, is there any size for the presentation or any specific format that was in mind, like a PowerPoint or a video? Or?
There's, and actually this is where the Space Apps website has some good tips. Like they have a graphic, which I don't know if you guys saw. It's about, I think it's 240 seconds of glory, and it's about really trying to tighten your presentation. So you have to consider like with what materials, basically talk with Bill what you'll be able to do and what your time limits are. But you know, judges, you know, I'm talking to you guys a little bit today about what you're working on, but really, you know, the judges should expect to come in with no information and not always know really exactly even what challenges you're solving. So it's always a challenge to try and succinctly put it together. But it's really just about explaining what your idea is and getting across what you were able to accomplish over the weekend. But doing so quickly and really getting across the good points of what you really were able to accomplish.
For the videos, take a look at last year's winners as well. That'll give you an idea of kind of like, you know, the top level ones.
So, and you can even see, I think they pare down often, like, you know, they have the global winners, but they also were paring down to when they were going through the different levels. You can see kind of which videos rose to the top, even beyond the winners. Because we actually have a team here that they were nominated for global judging last year, and they were in the top 5 for People's Choice. So.
Other questions?
How many teams did you guys host this weekend?
I think we have 6 teams that are forming this weekend.
I think something close to 8. There are a couple teams that are.
Oh, that's right. Because
so
remote.
yeah, we have a couple people that are finishing their projects remotely and will be here to present their project tomorrow. A couple were just the internet was a little bit spotty for them, and a few let us know that they'd be working at home and coming in today. So about 8 or 9, I think, roughly at the end of it for tomorrow.
Awesome.
Hey, Valerie, this is Frank Bombay. We spoke earlier when we were trying to get our sponsors in a row.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know, but thank you. Red Bull did show up here. We're,
you too.
We're deep in Red Bull. I think we got 13. And these guys are they're hitting it pretty good. So thank you for that lead. And I think sharing sponsors going forward next year, that all of us in Florida at least should work on doing that. It'd be great.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, collaborating between the two sites is really cool, and I hope we do it again. And you're welcome for the heads up. You guys gave me a heads up with Space Florida, so that was also awesome for you guys. And thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Okay, so if you guys have any more questions, we can check right now and see if on Twitter we have any of our challenges have any questions. So this will be a really fun thing as I scroll through, but once we can get them linked up and see what we can, if there's any out there. Which by the way, yeah, Tracy, it's good to see you guys posting. That was fun. So we had a Google Hangout yesterday where we talked about the challenges and we answered a couple. Actually, let me go to the Q&A app. That's another place if you want to ask me questions. You gotta turn it on. Nope.
Where are you guys hosting? That looks like a very large facility.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're hosting at the Melrose Multimedia Center in the downtown Orlando library. The library basically received a multi-million-dollar grant from a private donor to build a state-of-the-art multimedia hub where there's a professional recording studio, sound booths, video editing equipment, these computers back here, Maya, Photoshop, all sorts of important programs. And we have a really cool interactive wall over here where you can touch the wall and move the computer. So yeah, it's a really cool center for an event like this. How about you guys?
We are at Softworks in Ybor City. We're stone's throw from Florida's version of Mardi Gras.
Nice.
Softworks is and maybe Kayla can, all right, Kayla's not in here. Softworks is a nonprofit funded through an organization called the Doolittle Institute. We get their funding from SOCOM, and they do R&D for the military to try and streamline some of the more immediate needs. I'm trying to explain what software is.
Oh. Well, what have we got so far? Hello.
Doolittle Institute, SOCOM, R&D.
Okay, got it. So Doolittle Institute is a partner intermediary with US SOCOM here in MacDill, and also with the Air Force Research Lab at Eglin. So what we do is we are a neutral facilitator for new technologies, and we help to solve some of the challenges that are presented to us by SOCOM through our industry partners. So that's one of the main things we do. We try to connect people and help with that facilitation of getting the right people around the table to fix the problems that are presented to us. So
seems like a natural fit for space apps.
Yes, absolutely. We're so excited to have everybody here. We really are. It's a great honor for us to open up our building to everybody. So.
Nice.
And thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Really very much.
We could show
If you get
our
the
facility.
little tour here.
Oh yeah, you guys want
Way down there by that TV is one of the teams working hard.
Yep.
You met the team just next to them. That
They're
team.
over there.
There's another team way over there.
That corner.
And there's one back there.
Over the
They're
back.
hiding behind that post. They're working really hard though.
So I mean, there's a couple nice things about this facility because you have, there's a computer lab. There's a computer lab. There's all the adjustable chairs and furniture you can move around. So I've been here for a couple hackathons, so it's a nice space. And they have did we mention the 3D printing lab in the back?
Oh yeah, there's a 3D printing lab in the back. Which is pretty cool. And they also have like a professional photography studio. I mean, really, any kind of media thing that you want to do, tech thing you want to do, this is the place to do it if you're in Orlando.
They have a recording studio. I think they said a couple
yeah, they have a professional,
labels,
like,
their albums.
Yeah, they have a professional recording studio that you'd see in like cribs or whatever, where they have like the big board and the quiet room and everything. So
yeah.
It's
hard for us to hear you guys a little bit because I think they're making a Thurman or something next door.
Yeah,
they started printing right when we were doing this.
So.
Yeah, we're really happy with the facility here. We haven't told Kayla yet, but we may not leave tomorrow.
Just have a courtyard outside.
It's pretty high tech.
So, and then you guys are doing a 24/7 challenge too. So that's nice that you guys are able to spend the night. So how many people brought sleeping bags?
We had 3 teams still working at 5 a.m. and not taking a break.
Wow.
They were playing some kind of soccer game. Mario. I don't know. What was it? Simulated. Yes, they were simulating kids playing soccer. Loudly. And having a good time. We had another team in the back, hard at work at their challenge. Pizza boxes and Red Bull cans stacked everywhere. And there was one other team working up in here. I forgot who it was, but this turned into the nap room last night.
It's important. Self-care is important, and nap will help. So.
Yeah, it was funny though. So we hosted one at Kennedy Space Center the first 2 years that we got involved. And so ours, we did it 24/7. And so we actually, the first year, I think it was the first year, we called to Indonesia at like 2 a.m. because that's when they were doing their judging and they wanted to Google Hangout. We're like, all right, we'll see who's awake. And I had a lot of college students, so a lot of them were still awake.
This being our inaugural event, we were so naive, we didn't know you didn't have to do it 24/7.
Right. Nobody told us.
We're like, all right, we're in.
Something that nobody's talked about yet is that some of the teams will hook up with other teams around the globe. They'll pass on the code and everything that they're working on. They'll go home and go to sleep. That team will pick it up overnight. They'll work on it. The next morning, they pick it back up again. So something to think about.
Thought of that. That's actually a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
You like collaborate with another team. Like,
Yeah.
well, we'll take shifts. That's
It's
pretty cool.
efficient. It makes me think of like our DSN network, the Deep Space Network that NASA has. We have a site in Madrid and one in California and then one in Australia, so that no matter no matter, there we always have something pointed in all directions.
Does that mean you can have like a deadline 12 hours later then?
Yeah.
So if you're teamed with Australia and they're at their deadline, they'll be like, no, we're just pushing it to Florida for 12
Right,
hours.
well, yeah. Or Hawaii. Hawaii
Yeah.
is always the last one. So
These are true.
it doesn't work for the global. It works for the local judging. Doesn't work for the global judging. Everybody has the same deadline for that one.
But we're looking forward to using the DSN for prize verification for our CubeSat challenge. We have here one of our sponsors and several of our members here are participating in Team Miles in one of the Centennial challenges.
Yeah, they're developing a cubes. It's a CubeSat. I'm not sure how many use that they for the winner one.
Yep, riding up on SLS 2018. SLS.
Yes, I think we're all looking forward to when the Space Launch System rocket's available. That's going to be quite a sight.
That'd be awesome.
New rockets are always fun to have when they go. It's exciting.
Absolutely.
So.
But we happen to be now the only non-university team as a top finisher in the challenge. We're one of 6 teams eligible to fly. So.
Wow, that's pretty awesome.
MIT, Cornell. If you look at their campus and you should see our small Tampa hackerspace. Our resources are a little more limited than theirs, but
we make it work.
Well, necessity is the mother of invention, right? So you guys can be, maybe a little more adaptable when you have to conserve your resources. So maybe it works in your favor.
We've learned that Red Bull's the father.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You guys should connect with me later. Connect to Space Florida about your team.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and I can pass. I'll email Bill and Ryan so you guys have each other's information.
Hey, Brian, actually, we are connected.
Oh, that's right.
I'm on your LinkedIn.
With Sarah.
Cool. Yeah.
So,
Well, go drink some Red Bull and get back at it.
And how many people is this year? How many people participated? It's their first hackathon.
I'm sorry, what? I didn't hear you.
Is there anyone who is their first hackathon?
Oh yeah, me.
A lot of you guys. Oh wow. Well, I hope you're having fun with it.
We didn't have this. Showed up.
We got some new people. Awesome.
And Callie, thank you again for coming out last week to our data boot camp. We got quite a few of those participants here today.
Oh,
that's cool.
So yeah, it was fun coming over and seeing what you guys put together. It's the data boot camps. It's a good thing they're doing this year where they're spreading it because I think the local ones give people really good connections. So as much as it's great to see the one that's broadcast too on Friday.
Absolutely, yeah, we made some great contacts just putting that together.
Awesome. Okay, do you guys have any more questions?
I do. Do you guys have any suggestions for the Book It to the Moon for our app?
Well, yes and no. I mean, for the most part, the idea is to see what teams like your team will come up with without having too much influence, but just giving the basic kind of structure of the moon is the focus. But if you look in the description, it'll also mention that if you made this an app available for the public, then you can always make it expandable by making other destinations. Mars obviously is a major focus, asteroids or anything else, but the moon is so ingrained into our culture that it's almost critical that we continue to tell its story and make it part of our future. So just kind of make sure you have that looking back on the past, but then looking towards the future aspect within the app, and I think you'll do great.
Yeah, as someone who takes part in writing the challenges, I always look forward to people's solutions, which go places I never thought of.
That's why I like to write I like to come up with the challenges because, yeah, exactly.
You never know.
Also, I don't have to do it within like 48 hours.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I did a couple hackathons after it, but it's fun. Yeah, it's sometimes some of them, depending, we're like, what would be just great to see, and we want to see what people come up with, and hopefully, and also have you guys learn a little bit about what we do, and hopefully have a lot of fun with it.
Well, cheers to you guys for getting behind this and making it happen. We're having a blast.
Great.
Yeah.
I'm so happy.
Cheers to you guys, and congratulations on your first Space Ops Tampa. So that's awesome.
On our last, we've already made plans.
Yeah, and I'll send you, I'm not sure if Bill or either of John, if you could give Bill my phone number so that if you guys have any more questions, you can send them on, you can call us, because I might just checking email's been a little spotty today, so.
All right, I'll give him the number.
All right, thanks.
Great, thank you.
Heading down to Sarasota now.
All right, have fun and tell them hi.
All right.
And if you, yeah. All right, I'll talk to you guys later.
Hey guys.
Bye.